Join me as I dive deep into the challenges facing Africa's progress and see if I can uncover some real solutions. Africa is a continent with tremendous potential, rich in natural resources and boasting a young, vibrant population, but despite these advantages, progress has been slow, hindered by a complex array of obstacles. Political instability is a major obstacle to Africa's progress, with many countries experiencing frequent changes in government, some of which are a result of military coups or violent upheavals. Economic inequality is another significant challenge, with a small elite often holding a disproportionate amount of wealth and power, while the majority of the population struggles to make ends meet. External influences also play a role, with some foreign powers exerting significant control over Africa's economies and politics. Corruption is rampant in many African countries, with bribes and embezzlement sucking away funds that could be used to develop infrastructure and provide essential services. The impact of these challenges is evident in the lack of access to basic services, such as healthcare and education, with many Africans struggling to get the help they need. Political instability has led to the displacement of millions of people, with many forced to flee their homes due to conflict or persecution. Economic inequality has resulted in a lack of opportunities for young people, leading to high levels of unemployment and frustration. External influences have also limited Africa's ability to develop its own industries and economies, with many countries relying heavily on foreign aid. The legacy of colonialism also continues to cast a shadow over Africa, with many countries still struggling to come to terms with the trauma and injustice inflicted upon them. The exploitation of Africa's natural resources has also had a devastating impact on the environment, with deforestation, pollution, and climate change all major concerns. Furthermore, the brain drain of talented Africans leaving the continent in search of better opportunities has also hindered progress, leaving a significant gap in skills and expertise. As we examine these challenges in more detail, it becomes clear that there are no easy solutions, but there are reasons to be hopeful. For example, there are many Africans working tirelessly to bring about positive change, from entrepreneurs creating innovative businesses to activists fighting for human rights. The growth of technology has also opened up new opportunities for Africa, with many countries leveraging innovations such as mobile banking and renewable energy to drive development. A pivotal insight that illustrates the potential for change and progress in Africa is the fact that the continent is home to some of the fastest growing economies in the world, with countries such as Rwanda and Ghana making significant strides in recent years. This growth has been driven by a combination of factors, including investment in infrastructure, the development of new industries, and a focus on education and skills training. The African Continental Free Trade Area is also a major opportunity for the continent, with the potential to create a vast, integrated market that could drive economic growth and development. The potential for Africa's youth to drive progress is also a significant factor, with many young people eager to make a difference and create positive change. Education and skills training are critical in this regard, with a focus on developing the skills and expertise needed to drive economic growth and development. Additionally, the growth of civil society and the emergence of new leaders are all positive signs that Africa is on the cusp of significant change. In conclusion, Africa faces many challenges, including political instability, economic inequality, and external influences, but there are also many reasons to be hopeful. The main challenges facing Africa are complex and deeply entrenched, but by understanding these issues and working together, we can begin to build a brighter future for the continent. Let me know in the comments what you think is the biggest obstacle to Africa's progress, and don't forget to check out my other videos on related topics. Corruption remains a significant challenge for many African nations, undermining economic growth, eroding public trust, and exacerbating poverty. It manifests in various forms, from bribery and embezzlement to nepotism, affecting both public and private sectors. The consequences are dire: resources meant for education, healthcare, and infrastructure are often siphoned off, leaving communities struggling to meet their basic needs. However, addressing corruption is not just about identifying the problem, it's about implementing effective solutions that foster transparency and accountability. In this discussion, we will explore innovative strategies that can combat corruption, such as enhancing governance frameworks, promoting civic engagement, and leveraging technology for greater transparency. By focusing on prevention and education, we can empower citizens to hold their leaders accountable and create a culture of integrity. Tackling corruption is crucial for sustainable development in Africa. It paves the way for improved public services, attracts foreign investment, and ultimately leads to a more equitable society. Join us as we delve into actionable solutions that can help reshape the future of African nations, ensuring that resources are used effectively for the benefit of all. Understanding corruption in Africa. Corruption can be defined as the abuse of power for personal gain, and it manifests in various forms across political, economic, and social contexts in African countries. Politically, corruption often appears as bribery, vote buying, and nepotism, undermining democratic processes and eroding public trust in government institutions. Economically, it can take the form of embezzlement and fraud, diverting funds from essential services like healthcare and education. Socially, corruption can lead to inequality and injustice, as those with power exploit their positions at the expense of the vulnerable. Historical and cultural factors play a significant role in the persistence of corruption in Africa. Colonial legacies, weak governance structures, and a lack of accountability have created environments where corrupt practices thrive. For instance, Transparency International's Corruption Perceptions Index consistently ranks several African nations among the most corrupt globally, with countries like Somalia and South Sudan often at the bottom of the list. Statistics reveal the severity of the issue. The African Union estimates that corruption costs the continent over $148 billion annually. This staggering figure highlights the urgent need for comprehensive strategies to combat corruption and promote integrity across all sectors. Impact of corruption. Corruption has far-reaching consequences that deeply undermine governance and erode public trust in African societies. When leaders engage in corrupt practices, citizens become disillusioned with their governments, leading to a lack of faith in democratic processes and institutions. This erosion of trust can result in political instability, as citizens may resort to protests or civil unrest in response to perceived injustices. Economically, the costs of corruption are staggering. It deters foreign investment, as investors are often wary of environments where bribery and fraud are rampant. According to the African Development Bank, corruption can reduce economic growth by as much as 2% annually. Additionally, resources that should be allocated to vital public services, such as healthcare and education, are often misappropriated, exacerbating existing inequalities. Socially, corruption perpetuates cycles of poverty and inequality. Wealth and opportunities become concentrated in the hands of a few, leaving marginalized communities without access to essential services. This disparity not only fuels resentment but also hinders social cohesion, making it increasingly difficult for societies to work together towards common goals. Addressing corruption is essential for fostering equitable growth and building resilient communities across Africa. Solutions to combat corruption. To effectively combat corruption in Africa, enhancing transparency and accountability in governance is crucial. When governments operate openly, citizens can better hold their leaders accountable, fostering a culture of integrity. Implementing robust frameworks for financial reporting and public procurement can significantly reduce opportunities for corrupt practices. Several African countries have made strides in anti-corruption initiatives. For instance, Rwanda has implemented strict governance reforms that emphasize accountability, resulting in improved public service delivery and increased trust in government. Similarly, Ghana's establishment of the Office of the Special Prosecutor has empowered citizens to report corruption without fear of reprisal, leading to significant prosecutions of corrupt officials. Technology also plays a vital role in reducing corruption. Digital platforms can enhance transparency by allowing citizens to track government spending and report irregularities in real time. Mobile applications and online portals enable greater citizen engagement, empowering communities to monitor public projects and hold officials accountable. Encouraging active participation from citizens is essential for sustaining these efforts. By fostering a culture of vigilance and responsibility, African nations can create an environment where corruption is less tolerated, paving the way for sustainable development and equitable growth. Preventive measures. To effectively deter corruption, implementing preventive measures is essential. One of the most impactful strategies is promoting education and awareness about the effects of corruption. By informing citizens about how corruption undermines societal progress and economic development, communities can become more vigilant and proactive in demanding accountability from their leaders. Educational programs in schools and community centers can foster a deeper understanding of the importance of integrity. Additionally, encouraging strong legal frameworks and enforcement mechanisms is crucial. Governments must establish clear anti-corruption laws and ensure that they are rigorously enforced. This includes creating independent bodies to investigate and prosecute corrupt practices without political interference. When citizens see that corrupt actions have real consequences, it can serve as a powerful deterrent. Fostering a culture of integrity and ethics within both public and private sectors is equally important. This can be achieved through training programs that emphasize ethical behavior and the importance of transparency. Organizations should promote values that prioritize honesty and accountability, creating environments where corruption is not tolerated. By combining education, strong legal frameworks, and a commitment to ethical practices, African nations can build resilient systems that effectively prevent corruption. Role of international community. The international community plays a vital role in supporting anti-corruption efforts in Africa through cooperation and partnerships. Collaborative initiatives can enhance the capacity of African nations to combat corruption by sharing best practices, expertise, and resources. By working together, countries can develop comprehensive strategies that address the unique challenges faced in different regions, fostering a united front against corruption. Funding and resources are crucial for implementing effective anti-corruption initiatives. International organizations, such as the United Nations and the World Bank, can provide financial support and technical assistance to help African governments strengthen their legal frameworks and enforcement mechanisms. Grants and loans aimed at promoting transparency and accountability can empower local organizations to engage in grassroots anti-corruption efforts. Moreover, encouraging global awareness and advocacy for African nations is essential. By raising awareness about the impact of corruption on development, the international community can mobilize support for reforms and hold governments accountable. Advocacy campaigns can highlight successful anti-corruption initiatives, inspiring other nations to adopt similar measures. Through sustained international engagement, African countries can build resilient systems that effectively combat corruption, ultimately paving the way for sustainable development and prosperity. In summary, addressing corruption in Africa requires a multifaceted approach that includes effective solutions and preventive measures. We discussed the importance of enhancing transparency and accountability in governance, implementing strong legal frameworks, and fostering a culture of integrity. Education and awareness about the effects of corruption are crucial, as is the role of the international community in supporting these efforts through cooperation, funding, and advocacy. Collective action is vital in the fight against corruption. It is not just the responsibility of governments, citizens, organizations, and the international community must work together to create a culture that rejects corrupt practices. By holding leaders accountable and demanding transparency, we can pave the way for sustainable development and equitable growth across the continent. If you found this discussion insightful, we encourage you to engage with us. Please subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share it with your friends and family. Together, we can raise awareness about the importance of combating corruption, and inspire positive change in our communities. Your support can help amplify this message and contribute to a brighter future for Africa. Thank you for watching.